What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. Amazing stuff. It's Monday and we're here. Grateful to be here. Do me a favor before we get started. Hit that like button. Smack it. Lay the smack down on the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. Do it now. Help your boy out. Topics to be covered. You guys see the title. Facing your deepest, darkest secrets. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into what that means. And we're going to overcome today. That's what we're doing. We are overcoming today in the name of Jesus. So make sure you tell your peoples about it if they need to hear the message. Because we're getting free today. So tell your people about it. It is a talk show, so you can call in. If you want to talk about the topics at hand, if you want to talk about previous shows, whatever. We can get into it live on air, whatever you want to talk about. 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773. You can call in and we can talk. Right? Amazing stuff. If you cannot call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. The link is in the description. Or you can go directly to the YouTube live chat and hit the super chat button and send your question or comments there as well. And I will read them live on air. Chat and my mods, remind me to read the super chats today. We had some old super chats that I didn't get to on Thursday that we are going to get to today if the Lord is willing. So chat, my mods, remind me. Cool? Shout out to the chat, YouTube live chat. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to my mods, holding it down. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It's amazing stuff. If you didn't know, I was on the Hake Report on Friday. I didn't have a show on Friday, but I was on the Hake Report with Krishan the Don and James Hake, and that was fun. We talked about politics and we talked about the situation I had with the lady as I was on an exercising route. That was kind of fun too. But you could check that episode by going to the Hake Report. .com or going to the Hake Report on YouTube and watching the Friday episode. I believe, what day was that? The 8th, I want to say. So check that out. Amazing stuff. Let's get to it. Tell Hassan to make you read them. Tell Hassan to make you read them at the half an hour mark. Hassan's no longer in the studio with me. It's just me now. All alone, by myself, holding it down on the board. I don't need nobody. I'm my own man. I do it on my own. Even though Nick is in here before the show started, make sure everything runs smooth. Bill. Everybody in here help me out still, but as far as you guys know, I'm on my own. So, no Hassan. Chris said, Joel saw Nick doing his show and said, me too. I saw Nick doing everything on his own. I was jealous. I was like, he ain't going to be more independent than me. He ain't going to do it. I'm going to be just like him. Look, watch me. Hey, Lil Joel. Oh, wait. See, I don't even know where the button is. Hold on. Hey, Lil Joel. You see, I got a Lil Joel, too. Look. Take it off. Boom. So, Nick ain't better than me. Anyway. Facing your deepest, darkest secrets. I realized this. that I realized the only reason the world is so jacked up today, the only reason the world is messed up. And if this wasn't the case, peace on earth. If this wasn't the case, it'd be peace on earth. The only reason why everybody is so messed up is because the fear of facing self. That's it. Everyone's afraid to face themselves, right? That is the biggest problem. That is the major problem. And that is the very first step to overcoming all things, is you must face yourself and you must get to know yourself. And not everybody, but most people are afraid to do that. And that's why Satan has control of their lives. And that's why they don't know God. And that's why they know Satan. A lot of people at church were saying that they don't know God because Jesse's biblical questions like, do you know God, right? And who is God? And a lot of people said they didn't know God. But on the contrary, they were saying, but they know evil. It's because evil is the one that most people operate the most from. So everybody can identify evil, but they don't know God. And that's because people don't know themselves, right? Still trying to understand themselves, still trying to learn themselves. And when you know yourself, then you know God. So people are afraid to face themselves. And what's crazy is the only reason why Satan has any kind of control, and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, right? Know that you know and know that you know. But the reason why Satan has so much control is like our lack of understanding, right? And the reason why we tend to get stuck is our lack of understanding. And we wrestle with this like thing. So let's use an example so it makes the most clear. Let's use a serial killer. Okay, that's going to be our example today. But for whatever vice you have, put serial killer in its place. Okay? But make sure you're looking at yourself. And I'll do the same thing. Let's do serial killer, right? The reason why the serial killer can't stop being what he thinks he is because he has a lack of understanding of what he is and what that means. And the reason why he has a lack of understanding of his situation, being a serial killer, is because he has a judgment over it, right? This is so bad, or this is so good, whatever it may be, right? I don't like this, or I love this. But let's just say the serial killer doesn't want to be this way, right? But he finds himself continuing to kill people. The reason why he can't understand it and make sense of it is because he has a judgment about it. And that judgment doesn't allow you to learn because it's clouded. It's clouded by a lie. So what happens is he beats himself up. He beats himself up. And he calls himself a bad person. And he hates that he does this. And he tries to stop doing it, but he ends up right back in that same place, right? And it's because of this judgment. This judgment is tying to it. It's not that he's a serial killer. It's the judgment. And the only reason why he can't understand is because of the judgment. So what happens is that the only way to fully understand what's going on within, the only way for the serial killer to understand what's going on with him is he has to be honest with himself fully. He has to surrender to it. He has to say, you know what? I like to kill people. This is my struggle right now, right? Instead of trying to fight it and be like, I don't want to do this. This is not me. Right? Instead of doing all that fighting, you first have to surrender to it completely. He has to surrender to it and accept that this is just a struggle and be honest about it. But most people don't go to those deepest, darkest hidden secrets because their judgment is like, it's too deep, it's too dark, right? The lie. But you have to surrender to it. You got to be like, this is what it is. I do this, right? That's the first thing. And then when you surrender to it and you're like, you know what? The serial killer is like, I like it. I like it. As soon as you truly do that, not just tell yourself, but truly do that, then you realize it is so crazy. And I realized it's like certain things in my life is you realize that you don't like it. You like the feeling of the lie, right? You just like the feeling of the lie. It's not the quote unquote killing. Maybe I'm using the wrong words for my YouTube channel. maybe I should have used a different example. Murder, killing, serial killer. Anyway, we're already in here. Might as well keep going. But it's not that you like the killing. The serial killer likes the killing. It's that he likes the feeling of the lie. It's all the lie. It's all about the lie. He believed the lie about the killing, and he just enjoys the lie, the feeling that comes from it. So it wouldn't matter what it was. It wouldn't matter if it was killing. It wouldn't matter if it was drugs to him. It wouldn't matter if it was women. It wouldn't matter if it was A, B, and C. It wouldn't matter to the serial killer, right? The only thing that matters to him and to everybody is the feeling that's attached to it. That's the only thing that drives people to want to do it. They just like the high, the feeling. And I thought that was so crazy because what makes it harder for people as well is like, because they don't want to be identified as these things. The identity of it makes it worse than what it is, right? Because then we have to admit that we're these things, right? These things that are shameful to society, these things that we're taught that are so immoral and disgraceful, and that God looks down upon us. So we don't want to admit these things. And not only that, we don't want to be identified in our own minds as these things. So I was thinking like about all these false identities that we put on the world. The gay thing, the pedophiles, the addicts, all these titles. And then I was thinking like, none of those exist. There's no such thing as a gay. There's no such thing as a pedophile. There's no such thing as an addict. The only thing that happens, and we all can relate to this, the only thing that happens is you believed the lie of the feeling. That's it. You just believed the lie of the feeling. You liked the feeling that it gives. You believed the lie. And you know what the lie is? It's the knowledge of good and evil. Blame Eve. But even Eve didn't care about being her own person, or she didn't care about wanting to have all knowledge, all knowing, to be all knowing. She didn't care about that, right? What she cared about, what she was deceived by, was the feeling that that idea gave, right? It's like when you want a new car and then you get the new car, right? Is that you realize like, oh shoot, dang. Now, no, I'll use a better example. If you have a little small house, right? And I want a big house. And then you have this feeling like, you know what? Next year I'm about to get a big house. And then you have the money and you go buy that big house. And that feeling is what bought you the big house. The small house was fine. Everything would make sense. But the feeling is what made you want the big house. And now you get the big house and guess what happens? Guess what you realize? you realize you got to clean the big house. Now your cleaning went from 1 hour to all day. Right? It's based off the feeling. The lie isn't real. The lie is the deception. And the actual logic of it is that now you have a bigger house, more responsibility that you don't need. You got 8 rooms, but you're single. Now you got to clean 8 rooms. The knowledge of good and evil is exactly that. All Satan did was deceive, make Eve believe a feeling. He gave her this feeling. And the feeling of it, the thought came first, right? But the feeling of it confirmed the thought, right? Because she can care less about being her own individual. She could have cared less about knowing all things. Why would she need to know all things? She had perfect peace before. She was satisfied. Why would she need to be all-knowing? Because Satan gave her this feeling as if all-knowing was this magical thing. That's what Satan still does today. It's the knowledge of good and evil. And if we knew and understood that all that, anything that we feel, any feelings, period, anything, is pure from evil. And because it's designed to mimic love, mimic good. That's why it's the knowledge of good and evil. The knowledge, not wisdom, the knowledge of good and evil. So we think this feeling is good. And we think the pain of the ego dying is bad. But that's knowledge of good and evil. We have it backwards. So any feeling we have to learn to recognize as a lie. It's a lie to deceive you and distract you. And as soon as you believe it, you go into darkness. Think about, I'll give a couple more examples, and then I'll get to, we'll move on. Think about the pretty girl or the good-looking guy you see, right? When you see them, you think all kinds of things, right? And what it is that you just like the lie about them. It's not that they're looking at you, you're looking at them, and this is a connection from God, right? Or that you walking in a hall and then you guys hit each other's shoulder like the movies, and then this is like divine appointment, right? And God will add things, right? But I'm saying in this moment, it doesn't mean that that's that. Because as soon as you have the feeling about it, all you did was believe the lie about them. You don't know nothing about that person. You don't know if they're a serial killer. You don't know if their heart is wicked. But the mind is like, I want this one. And you just believe the lie about it. That's it. You don't even like them. Isn't that crazy? You don't even like them. You just like the lie about them. That they seem decent. They seem like blah, blah, blah. You believe the lie about them. So put 2 gay men in a room and take the feeling away, and it's just 2 men in a room. Think about it. Think about that. If you put 2 gay men in a room, right, and you take the feeling away, it's just 2 men sitting in the room. Put a married couple in a room, and take the feeling away, that's just brother and sister. I know you guys like, ugh. But that's just brother and sister in heaven. Brother and sister. Take the feeling away, brother and sister. I have two in my place where I live. I have like two alcohol bottles that are unopened, and they've been there for years because I don't drink. So they've been there for years, and I used to drink, but I don't anymore. And they just sit there. They've been sitting there for years, just like as decoration, or like if I have company over and they like want to have a sip, they can. But they're unopened and they just sit there, and there's no temptation. I had no temptation for it and nothing. There's no feeling to it. There's no feeling to it because I'm not into that. That's not my thing. It's not my vice. So they stay there and they're just there. And I don't even look at them like, or like, that looks good. Or as a matter of fact, I look at them like, that tastes gross. I look at them as they are because I had no feeling to it. There's no feeling that's deceiving me about them. Like, this is going to make me feel a certain way because that's not my vice. And that's how we have to grow to realize all things and see them as they truly are once we realize that the feelings that we have are just a deception and a lie at what's really going on. So the gays, the pedophiles, the addicts, all that stuff is not real. If they truly saw themselves and realized what was really going on, then they would see that they don't like what they think they like. They just like the feeling of it. That's it. And if it wasn't a gay liking another gay, if that didn't exist, then it would be them liking something else. It would just be replaced with another thing because the feeling is the lie. And Satan knows what we'll believe. Satan knows I don't believe the alcohol thing, so he doesn't tempt me with that, but he finds other things to tempt me with. That ain't none of you guys' business. Oh. So, get to know yourself and be honest with yourself. That's the key. And then you'll see the next steps you need to take, whether it be to forgive, whether it be to like whatever, right? Get to know yourself. And you'll see all these things, and then you'll recognize, wow, like I'm thinking that I'm this, I'm thinking that I'm that, and none of that stuff is even real. So, yeah. Let me get to some calls and then some super chats, maybe. The lines are open, 888-775-3773. The lines are open. You can call in. Let me know what you guys think. And we can kind of go from there. Hold on. I'm seeing some havoc in the chat. Let me see. I feel like I'm missing. Jupiter, call in. I'm not sure what Jupiter's talking about, but I'm seeing that like people are saying that's not what he means, Jupiter. So I'm trying to figure out like where the first message is. What is Jupiter talking about? No, he doesn't have any Chris Deckard. Of course, the act is evil. Jupiter. Oh, Jupiter says, so if a child been has been, oh, S word abused. It's not real. Not that that didn't happen. Oh, I'm so glad that. Thank you, Nick. Is that it's not that that didn't happen. Yes, it didn't happen, but the reason why they keep overreacting to it and they're attached to that is because they keep believing that it's trauma, like, and they keep reliving it because Satan keeps giving them that feeling, that guilt, that shame, right? And then they keep believing it and thinking that now I'm a victim, now I'm a thing. So yes, it happened, but JLP said something in a meeting on Sunday is that, and he said it a bunch of times before, and it's so true, is that if that were to happen to you, that very next day, if you weren't identifying with the feelings and the thoughts and you knew that Satan was lying, you would have you forget about it the next day. It would have no effect on you. It would just be a thing that happened to you and you would see how to deal with it next, right? Legally or whatever, right? But it wouldn't have no internal effect on you. So anybody who's overreacting about these people being S-worded or R-worded, right? They're adding to the person's overreaction to it. They're not helping the problem. Be like, oh my God, you didn't deserve that. Like, that's adding to their quote unquote trauma. The lie that they're believing. And that's not freedom. That's adding more chain. And we're trying to break free, Jupiter. And Jupiter says, he also said, pedo is not real. Listen, if you want to believe that, you're judgmental then. Keep it and believe it. And I have nothing against Jupiter because I don't know who this person is, so I'm not like trying to bash this person. But Jupiter, if you want to believe that the pedophile deserves his name, then you're a judgmental person. And then maybe you have anger in your heart. And maybe you better be careful because you become like what you hate. And God is quick to make it apparent that you're what does Jesse say? 2 hoops and a holler away from, if you think that you're better than, he'll show you the same way. So you better make sure you check that. So double think. Oh, Zenny says, I mean, you are using the term pedophile right now, Joel. If no one is a pedophile, who are you talking about? Come on, Zenny. I'm communicating. Anyway, let me get to some calls. I can't even find the chats to find out where he is. Thank you, Nick, for sending that to me. Let me go to Jeff out of LA. Jeff, I don't know if that's LA or Louisiana. Where you from?
Louisiana.
Louisiana, right on. We might be cousins.
Yeah, I called in about your Charlie Kirk thing. Your kind of little rant threw me off. So let me ask you now. So if all things are fake and not real,
there we go.
In front of your video, in front of your show, you say on videos you dance with kids and teach people how to dance and all that stuff and they're smiling. Is that fake?
What do you mean?
What are you feeling?
What do you mean? I don't get what you're saying. Say it again.
When on the beginning of your show, you show the video of your dancing down the street, smiling, and you're teaching kids how to dance, and you're smiling, teaching people how to dance. What are you feeling?
That's just me doing what I'm doing. Why? It doesn't have to be a feeling.
So why are you smiling? I mean, that's a sign of emotions. That's a feeling.
Oh no! Not all. Joy is not, and I'm not saying I was feeling joy in whatever moment.
Joy's a feeling too.
No, joy is not an emotion. Joy is not an emotion. Joy is not a feeling. Any feelings are evil.
It's an adjective. Joy is an adjective. So
all right,
is a feeling.
But that's okay. But just because it's an adjective doesn't confirm that it's not a feeling. Joy is of light. So there's things that are of God that are of the light that have no feeling, and there's things that are of evil that mimic the light and that have a feeling, like happiness, like excitement. Those are things that are feelings that mimic joy and peace, because those are temporary, and they latch on to things and don't want to let them go. So you don't want those things. Those are the false things. Do you agree?
Nope. I'm gonna call bullshit on that, but I'm gonna call.
Well, you can't cuss on the air, but what do you disagree?
Yeah. Because y'all make up stuff to fit your narrative. I mean, man, what you just talked about is just don't make no sense. That what was it? Let's see. Okay, let's break it down. Start where you started.
Okay.
You were talking about what were you talking about? You were talking about feelings, and I'm trying to remember. You kind of lost me. You run on so much, but
on which parts specifically?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember what you said, but you got back to where talking about feelings and joy, and not that, but I don't remember. You were on so much. You got back to Adam and Eve and her taking the apple because she wanted knowledge and all this stuff. I don't know. It just didn't make sense. But anyway, just tone it down and get to my question.
Okay. Well,
last week you was talking about Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
Did you watch that interview, or did you just watch the parts you want to comment on?
I watched parts.
Okay, in that interview, he said that he is not judging no one. He was asked a question: do you believe you have sex before marriage? He said, no, I do not believe you have sex before marriage, but I'm not judging anyone who does, because it's pretty much their life, the way things happen. So I'm not judging anyone who does.
So just
he wasn't talking.
Okay, go ahead. Finish your point.
No, go ahead.
So just because he says out of his mouth, I'm not judging, does that mean he's not judging?
Well, weren't you judging him when you comment on him?
No.
And before you say no.
Okay.
I didn't watch the whole show because I was busy doing stuff, and I had it on TV. I was walking back and forth.
Yeah.
You comment on him. You start talking about him, and I don't know. You spent 10 minutes commenting about the show, breaking the interview down, all that crap.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It
was ridiculous, but go ahead.
But then I walked back through to end your show. You spent 5 minutes in your show commenting on how everything was wrong that he was saying, and you shouldn't judge and this, that, and you start on him. So aren't you judging?
No. That's a good question. I'm pointing out wickedness, and I wasn't judging him for it because there was no feeling attached to it. I really didn't feel anything about it, but I saw with insight that what he was doing was pure wickedness. It doesn't matter if he says, I'm not judging. That doesn't matter. It's based off of what is being shown.
Well, doesn't that apply to you just saying I'm not judging? Doesn't that same logic apply to you just now saying I'm not judging?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, but if with anybody with insight, they would see that I'm not judging.
How are you not? Okay, let me ask you. Okay, you made your comment. That's fine. You made your comment on the video. Maybe you weren't judging the first time you made comment.
Right.
But the fact that 30 minutes later you come back to it, went back on it, that shows judgment because you're still thinking about it.
No. Is that I had more to say. I had to go round two. And the reason why I say that, I'm joking right there, but the reason why I say that is because at the same time, people tend to overreact and think that just because you speak up or you say something doesn't seem so nice, that automatically means that you're angry. And that doesn't mean that. But there's times where people, for me, in my opinion, when I'm watching Charlie Kirk, and this is just my opinion, I can be wrong, but when I'm watching Charlie Kirk, he's pretending to be this whatever, even though he's trying not to judge. He goes on there and he's flexing that he has this nuclear family and he's so proud of him and his daughter, and she runs up to his leg flexing that he's a married man, and then he makes the comment saying that, oh well, I look around and I don't see anything that I'm missing around in front of a bunch of ladies who were delusional as well. Maybe not all of them, but he said all those comments around a bunch of people who never said, I mean, maybe they said other things to him in the other part of the interview. I don't know. But I'm like, at the end of the day, how are you going to just flat out say that and then try to poke your chest out and admit that you got it together because you got a nuclear family? It's just insane to me. You don't think that's the same? You don't feel the same way?
No, I don't. Let me ask you a question then.
Well, let me ask you really quick. So why you think that it's okay that he can go on the show and insult them and tout that he has a family and it's so beautiful and judge them for that? You think that's good? That's okay?
Isn't that the same thing JLP says?
In what example?
That you shouldn't be promiscuous, you shouldn't do this, you should get married and have babies.
But that's not what he said, though. That's not what Charlie Kirk said.
It's pretty much what JLP says. He pretty much said, you should get married and have families, and it's the greatest job I ever had. Get married and have families. It's the hardest thing I ever did, but the greatest thing I ever did was get married and have a family. He said, and if you watch the interviews, I like Charlie Kirk. He says he never has sex that way a lot, and that he thinks it's the best thing for a man and woman to be with each other and not be with.
I agree. I agree with that. But right now, Jeff, you're making it sound so nice and cute and sweet, and that's not the energy he was giving. He was very passive aggressive. He was very sneaky about it. He was trying to pretend to be nice. That's all wickedness.
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay.
How do you get all this stuff you're saying when your own boss says feelings are not real?
Well, you have to take that up with Jesse. I'm not Jesse, so you have to talk to Jesse about that. That's between that has nothing to do with me.
Well, you guys share the same beliefs just like everybody else does.
No, but that's between. If you're gonna have a question about it, ask me questions about what I said or what I do. I can't speak on Jesse's behalf.
Okay, man. I ain't going on long. So I get aggravated. I ain't going to keep y'all running in circles. But man, you have a good day.
Oh well, let me ask you this last question, and then I'll let you go, Jeff. Is that you see that nothing he said about the ladies and everything he said was perfectly fine. Nothing was off. Everything was perfect and Jesus-like.
No, I don't think you said it. I don't think anyone, including Jesse, including you, including anybody else, judge anybody else. I think we should all be free to say what we want to say and not have nobody judge what we say. Unless you say I want to hurt somebody or you're going to do something to hurt somebody, nobody should judge a thing that comes out of my mouth. My thoughts are my thoughts. My ideas are my ideas. Unless I'm threatening to hurt somebody, harm somebody, or something, anything I say shouldn't be judged. If I think, anything, it's just you do you and I do me. That's all I say on that.
Okay, and my last question. And what about the girls? What is your opinion on the females on the show?
I don't agree with the lifestyle. It's their choice. They can do what they want to do.
Okay. Well,
I also don't agree with the fact that there's guys out here paying them bukus of money on there and to see them naked and crap.
Right.
When I'm not being over on your show, but if you that hard up, you got a right hand, you got a left hand. I mean, just look. I don't judge nobody, but I don't judge them. I'm not like Parker. I don't judge them if I have to do it because if there's somebody that's dumb enough to pay me money for something I got to do.
Right. Exactly. I agree.
If somebody's going, okay, just say you got a job interview in the morning, you're getting dressed.
Yeah.
If someone going to pay $200 to watch you get dressed, what are you doing?
I have that same mindset as you, Jeff. I don't care.
You're not doing nothing else. I mean, you're getting dressed for a job interview. You get $200 in the process. Shit, go ahead.
I share the same sentiment. I don't care what they do. I don't agree with it. I don't care what they do. But I share that. But listen to what I'm saying right here. I share that same sentiment that you're saying. And I'm not saying anything that you're saying is wrong. I agree with what you're saying, but that's not the approach that Charlie Kirk was taking, and that's why I called it out, because he wasn't coming from that approach of like, let people do what they want to do, let them be who they want to be. No, he was judging them by throwing his family out there and saying that his situation is so great, and he prays. I think he said pray, allegedly. I don't know if he for sure said pray, but he's like, I wish or something, I pray or something like that, that you guys all find that. Like, that's
like
so.
I pray that you're not regretting this in 20 years on crap like that.
What?
He said something like, I pray you're not regretting this in 20 years.
All that stuff is so fake, phony Christian stuff.
But the thing is that I like their network. I do like TPSA. I watch Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, and Matt Walsh. But at the end of the day, they're all some phony too. I agree on some points have, some points don't have, but they're all phony too, because you take when that crap in Hamas happened, when Hamas bombed Israel.
Yeah.
You know, Ben Shapiro's a big Jewish guy. Come out saying stuff against that. And Candace took up saying, said something about this, well, just because they know they had 12 people, don't do right to kill all these people. Next thing you know, he's going to kick her off the network.
Right. And I disagree with that too.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. And then you got Charlie Kirk and Matt Walsh talking about family and everything else. I mean, everybody has the right to choose what they want to choose. If I want to be single for my whole life and do heck what I got, that's fine. That shouldn't be none of your concern.
Right.
Just like it's none of my concern what you do. If you like to, well, obviously you like to dance. I mean, I'm not into dancing, but you like to dance. Why should that bother me? I mean, it's not doing nothing to me.
What bothers me is that when people don't do exactly what you just said, when people don't let people make their own decisions and be whatever, and none of those girls imposed their life on Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk had to go on that show and pretend that he's better than they are because they live their lifestyle. And then you called me to be mad at me for calling out the things that I agree with you on. So I'm not the enemy. I call out, and I called out an evil that I saw in Charlie Kirk for trying to pretend that he's better than another human being. That's all I did.
Pretty much a hypocrite. If you study the Bible and you say you don't judge people, do not judge us, do you be judged?
I didn't judge though. I don't feel like I judged.
I'm not saying you. I'm talking about Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
I'm saying the Bible says, "Do not judge us, do you be judged," or something like that. I'm not.
You said that's what he said.
No, I'm saying the Bible says that.
Right.
Do not judge us, you be judged. So he's pretty much. I pretty much destroyed my own argument here.
So you're saying he is judging?
Yeah, I mean he's judging, but he said
right.
He's judging, but nobody's judging him, and he don't want nobody judging him. So like I said, I pretty much destroyed my whole argument calling him show.
There you go. Well, now we got to the so now we agree.
Yeah, we agree. I mean, we pretty much agree, but
right on.
Hey, man, y'all would go, man.
All right, appreciate it, Jeff. Call me again. We got one, folks. Oh, shoot. Sorry, don't look at my armpits. I'm sweating. I can't celebrate. Ain't that amazing? It was hard for me to understand what he was saying exactly. So it's hard to like catch everything, but he was saying the same thing that I was saying. All I did was just call it out, and it seemed like he thought I was judging, but no. I'm calling out, sticking up for the same sentiment that he's saying that I had. Let people do what they want to do. Let them choose to be what they want to be. You don't got to agree, and you don't even got to correct it. And I don't like that whatever. I mean, I don't say I don't like that whatever podcast, but because I haven't seen that much episodes, but I feel like it's a setup for those women. I don't agree with what those women are about and being, porn stars and all that stuff. I don't agree, but they're like put on there for other men to come on and just bash them. I don't even know why they go on there. Oh, they're blind and can't see. They just go out there so they can just get beat up on by these men. And the men go on there and feel good about it. I seen some other clips of another guy going on there and just being crazy. I almost played it today, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to sit up here and just correct every single thing that I see. But it's silly that these women even go on there, because the guys are going on there not to try to understand where they're coming from or understand why they became the way they are, to get to the bottom of it, to help. They're going on there to bash them, to use them as a punching bag, and to say that you're the cause of false Christians, false righteousness. And you can't be falling for this kind of stuff. Those men aren't righteous. So that's what I'm calling out. And if any of those women ever watch my show, don't go on that thing. It's a setup. They don't care about you, and they want to make you look worse. So that's how I feel about it. But thanks for calling, Jeff. I got to get to some super chats. Joel will go on there and give him a therapy session. I don't know what would happen if I go on there. You would kind of have to wait and see. But, man. It says, he said, true, but at the same time, someone needed to tell those women how the cow ate the cabbage. No. Good point, C-Sal. At the same time, I agree. At the same time, sometimes men need to go on that show and tell women how the cow ate the cabbage. Yes, the right men. The right men. And maybe there has been the right men on there. So thank you for making that point, C-Sal, because I haven't seen all the episodes. Maybe there's decent guys that go on there and give them the real deal from the right energy. I hope. Right? But the right men have to go there and do it, or else they're just adding to the woman's problems. You know what I mean? Those guys who do it in the false way are the very reason why those women started doing that stuff in the first place, to prove a point, to be rebellious, to throw it back in men's face for them thinking they've been treated this way. So all you're doing is just playing right into their hand and saying like, well, guess what? I'm going to keep using you. I'm going to keep taking your money, and I'm going to keep stealing your husbands away from the wives because I can. Oh, and you have an attitude about it? Oh, and I'm all these names? Well, I'm going to keep doing it. So the right man got to do the right thing. So I got to get to some super chats. Let me get some super chats here. I got to get to these, and I'll get back to, dang. I'll get to some calls. Let me go quick, fast and in a hurry. Jessica with 5 donuts. Nice, Jessica. Appreciate it. Thanks for always having insightful. Keep up the great work, my brother. Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate it. And thanks for calling in. It was a good call. And she goes on to say, girl cannot even finish sentences. Always have insightful convos and topics. She was referring to when I played the clip of Charlie Kirk and the girls who were the porn stars were talking and having conversations. Yeah, because they really don't know what they're talking about, and they're just trying to sound smart. Just lost human being. Michael Andrew, thank you, Jessica. Appreciate it. Michael Andrew, hey Joel, great topic today. I see my false righteousness coming out in the passive aggressive all the time. It's unreal sometimes the words are coming out, but I ain't speaking. I honestly think sarcasm is evil. What do you think? Exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about. And that's exactly the language that I seen, in my opinion, Charlie Kirk using with those women. Sarcastic, passive aggressive, and it is evil. It's pure evil. So that's how I feel about it, Michael. Andrews, thank you for the donuts. Thanks, Joel. Oh shoot. I lost the page. No. Okay, I can't go back to it. But thank you for those super chats. Oh, I totally lost the page. I think there's a couple more, but I'll get to those. Let me get to Alex out of Tennessee. You're on the air. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Hey, Joel.
Couple minutes here. How's it going?
Okay. Oh, it's going well.
Nice.
There's a couple things. That was an amazing call with Jeff.
Right on.
Good on Jeff for seeing that.
Yeah.
He kind of had. He went full circle there, and that was really cool for him to see that. Like, it's cool to see it actually happen.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And it just was just miscommunication, just having a conversation. But go ahead.
Yeah. But the 2 points I wanted to make was this is why it's important not to have heroes, because I think it's really tempting to defend your heroes. Like because it's from what he said, it sounded like he's been into this channel, into these people for a long time.
Yeah.
And you're coming, you're criticizing what this guy's doing that he respects to some extent, it seems. And he wants to defend him because, and I've been tempted to do that with Jesse or with, from Jesse Thumping or whatever. It's like,
good point.
It's really tempting to want to defend your guy when someone's, pointing something out that, maybe it's true or maybe isn't.
Yeah.
But, to come rush to their aid. But like, and I was thinking about how, you can point out something that's right or wrong, but the distinction between having a discerning point of view on it and making a judgment is the feeling you get about it.
Right.
Like, does it give you a feeling to say this about that person, or do you have a feeling about your whatever your observation is?
100%.
Because yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say really quick, just because the time here is that is, if they go back and watch the show, I was serious, but I was also laughing about it as well. I wasn't into it like judgment usually is. Like judgment is with the anger and stuff like that. I wasn't, because I can care less, right? But I seen in that moment that it's just it's not right. So I was calling it out, but I wasn't angry. So that's what people tend to not understand, for whatever reason.
Yeah, no, that's just. I mean, and I could see that too. And Nick had a good on his show, Anchor Baby. So he had a good phrase. I'm pulling a Charlie Kirk here. I want that to be something people know what it means.
Yeah, like a phrase. Well, I appreciate it. I'm so out of time, Alex. I have to end the show because Nick is coming in right now. But thanks for the call, man. Call me again.
All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, appreciate it. Right on, Alex. I'm sorry, Rick and the other callers. I can't get you. I got to end because American Anchor Baby is coming in, and I don't want to step on his time. So I got to end, but I'm back here tomorrow. So if you guys want to call me tomorrow, as soon as you can, I'll get to you as soon as I can. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you, chat, for giving your opinions and stuff and what you feel about it in the chat. Because sometimes I could be wrong. So a little fellowship here and there and that can go wrong. So I appreciate it. Until next time, I gotta go. And American Anchor Baby's coming in, and you don't want to miss this show. All right, guys. Bye.
Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm observing.